Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I pray that everyone's well. Subhanallah, the genocide in Gaza is still happening, and it's something that is so heavy on our hearts. It's like a darkness on the world. People are stressed out, people are depressed, and sometimes they don't know why, but we all know why because we're waking up every day and we're watching these horrendous videos of the Israeli army performing a genocide in broad daylight. Like it's not even being hidden. It's just publicly broadcast that this is what we're going to do to the Gazan people. And we're watching it happen day in and day out, day in and day out. And we're seeing these videos of these beautiful, beautiful children, these amazing men and women who are just being bombarded. I mean, like you and I walk out of our homes and we go to the grocery store. We go to the gym, we go to the church, we go to the mosque, we go to our synagogue, and we know by and large we're going to have a very peaceful going. We're going to have a very peaceful coming. You know? But imagine you're someone in Gaza, and if you stick your head out of your shelter, assuming you even have shelter, there may be a sniper that's going to kill you indiscriminately. Or if you get up and walk out into the streets, there are going to be bombs that are falling on top of your heads. Or you don't have anything to eat. Nothing. You and I, the problem that we have typically is that we open up our fridges, we don't know what to eat, and then we get upset. I mean, subhanAllah. I mean, think about that. You and I get upset not knowing what to eat or not having exactly what we want to eat in our homes. That's the state that we're in. But the Gazan people don't have anything to eat. There's nothing there. And so I'm sure everyone knows the news as of late. The Israelis have completely cut off humanitarian aid, and it's just a modern day genocide, starvation of the Gazan people. And so I want us to bring some attention to some of these realities that's happening. There's an article, if we can pull it up, Sajjad. 14,000 babies in Gaza may die in the next 48 hours if Israel keeps blocking aid. And then the subtitle there is Israel allowed just 5 aid trucks into Gaza on Monday, but none of the aid has reached the people in need. And so this is written today, actually May 20th. So you see the dire circumstance and the dire situation that's happening in Gaza. They're being starved to death in front of the world's eyes. And it's just completely being accepted. We're just turning a blind eye to it. Where's our humanity? What have we become as humans? Like, how do you justify this? Okay, you hate Hamas. Okay, you hate this one. You hate this group. Like, how do you justify this? You have to be evil. You have to be evil to justify this. Thousands of babies in Gaza may die over the next 2 days if Israel does not lift its near total humanitarian aid blockade and allow the entry of a flood of food and other basic necessities, the UN's humanitarian chief warned on Tuesday. Complete blockade, complete siege, nothing coming in, nothing whatsoever. There are 14,000 babies, 14,000 babies, innocent, beautiful, vibrant gifts from God, publicly being starved to death. And if you've ever seen someone starve to death, it's a horrendous death. It is painful. I mean, it's painful when you and I just see the images of someone starving. Imagine the individual that's going through that process. There are 14,000 babies that will die in the next 48 hours unless we can reach them, said Tom Fletcher, the UN's Undersecretary General for the Humanitarian Affairs, in an interview on the BBC. This is not food that Hamas is going to steal. See, that's the red herring. Constantly, the lie that's told, oh, we don't want to give any resources because the terrorists are going to. No. This is like the magicians of Pharaoh. During the story of Sayyidina Musa, Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, and Pharaoh had the magicians, and the magicians did all this magic just to fool people, right? And that's what we've been seeing. All of these lies being told, deception, just to fool people into thinking, oh, we can't give food because Hamas steals it or the terrorists steal it. No, you don't want to give them food because you want to wipe everyone out of Gaza so you can take over that territory. You want everyone to die. And you're doing it in plain sight. Fletcher went on, contradicting Israel's narrative about humanitarian aid. We run the risk of looting. We run the risk of being hit as part of the Israeli military offensive. We run all sorts of risks trying to get that baby food to those mothers who cannot feed their children right now because they're malnourished. And imagine the pain of a mom who can't provide herself to her child because she herself doesn't even have the nourishment to produce milk to feed that child. I mean, this is a horrific scene. It is a terrible scene. And it's a scene that is really a black stain on all of humanity right now. And the good news is, at least, that people are waking up. People are waking up to the reality, good people, that this is craziness. This is barbaric. This is not okay. This can no longer be justified. And I want to acknowledge some of those voices that are waking up here in the United States of America who are trying to bring attention to this. And one of them is actually the co-founder of Ben and Jerry's, Ben Cohen. You know, Ben and Jerry's is a company many of us love. We love our chocolate chip cookie dough. We love our all sorts of different flavors that they have. And in Congress recently, Ben brought attention to this issue. And I want to watch this video together because we want to acknowledge him and thank him. Let's watch this together.
Members of the audience are reminded disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room.
Ben, why are you getting arrested?
Move down the hallway. You will be arrested. 4 kids in Gaza by buying bombs and pays for it by kicking kids off Medicaid in the U.S.
Ben, what are you calling for the Congress and senators to do for Gaza?
They need to let food into Gaza. They need to let food into starving kids. Congress is paying to bomb poor kids in Gaza and paying for it by kicking poor kids off Medicaid in the U.S.
Like that's a real man right there. Like, that's a real man. We can all learn a lesson from him. What is he, like in his 70s, 75 years old, wealthy, well-to-do, successful business, but he has a moral compass. And that moral compass of his makes him speak out, speak the words of truth in front of tyrants. Like, what are you doing? You're killing children consciously in Gaza. And you're doing it without a care. You're dropping those bombs. And you're stealing money from this program to give to that program. When you can rectify the affairs of the United States of America, why do you want to murder people on the other side of the world? This is not an American problem. American democracy is supposed to be out there showing the world the shining light. You're supposed to be Superman, the heroes that come to save the oppressed. Remember Captain America? That was his whole thing. Send him out there to go help people that are oppressed. That's what the comic books were all about. He was the representative of the United States of America. His whole suit was the American flag. What have we become? Now, old men like Ben, thank you very much, Ben, they have the courage to speak out. And, you know, to some of our Muslim leaders in the United States of America, and I think many of you probably even know whom I'm referring to, you don't have an ounce of courage like Ben does. You don't have an ounce of love for humanity like Ben does. We've sold our souls to foreign leaders and we want to intellectualize this issue of what's happening to the Palestinian people and try to find some theological loophole within our Islamic tradition to say that it's the Palestinian faults. Nonsense. You know, one thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did through this whole process, at least for us here in the United States of America, I pray, is He showed us who are true leaders for Allah and His Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, and who are not. Allah showed us who are true leaders for Allah and His Messenger ﷺ, and those who fall in line with the sultans and the umara and the emirs and the politicians. And that's always been the case. Historically, if you look at it, there are scholars for Allah and His Messenger ﷺ, and there are scholars for this worldly life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts the world through circumstances like this so you and I can see who's who. So I'm not actually saddened by it. I'm not surprised. It's a you problem. But if Ben is out there speaking so openly and so honestly, you should be ashamed of yourself if you're not. And so it's not just Ben, Theo Vaughn. This is the one, there's a few clips actually. Sajjad, if you bring up this particular clip on Theo Vaughn, and I'm going to actually look for another one that I'm going to send to you. But Theo Vaughn, who has a popular YouTube channel, you know, he's hurt. He's devastated. He doesn't know what to do. And, you know, let's play this clip.
Genocide is going on over there and you don't know what to do.
19,000 kids have been orphaned. And when I say orphaned, what's going to be the future of those kids?
I mean, you can pray, you can speak up about it.
Think that there's something wrong with me.
Oh, imagine some kid over there in Gaza looking up and there's a bomb, and they think, man, I'm so horrible, I deserve to be bombed.
There was a study done of Gazan children.
Man, that's crazy. I hadn't thought about that. Like, really look, imagine that, though.
95% of those kids show traumatic symptoms. High percentage wet their beds. They expressed aggression towards their parents. They had panic attacks, anxiety, fears. Can you imagine what's going to happen to that generation
years from now?
Years from now. I mean, it just breaks my heart every day when I think about it.
Well, when you put it in that sense, that a kid, imagine a kid like, you know, because what are they going to think? They don't know. They just think, man, something's so wrong with me. I deserve to be. Feels like a genocide is going on over there.
That's the clip. And there's another clip you can find. Maybe Sajjad, you can look at while I'm talking to this, where Theo is just really speaking his heart. It's like a 3-minute clip on YouTube. You guys, everyone out there should go watch it. And where he's just like, I don't know what to do about what's happening in Gaza. He's like, I feel horrendous. It's a genocide. I don't even know why I'm making this video, but I do know I feel so bad about it that I need to use my voice to say something. And so we all have voices. Silence is not the answer. Waking people up constantly to the reality, one after the other, of these terrible happenings in Gaza is a victory for humanity. This is not about religion. This is about humanity. And if that was happening to Christians, or if that was happening to Jews, or if that was happening to Buddhists, I would expect the Muslim community to stand up for humanity, to say something, to be on the front lines of saying, this is wrong. That's my brother and sister in humanity. You cannot do that to them. Every human soul, regardless of religion, is precious with God, was created by the divine, brought into existence for a divine purpose. And then we treat it like it's less than an animal. And we murder, and we kill, and we pillage, and we attack. And so, Theo, again, thank you so much for being courageous, because, many people will lose their careers for saying things like this. They'll be just completely blacklisted, X'd out. Sajjad, did you find that clip? Here, let's play this clip. It's a few minute clip, but let's just listen to him and his emotions in this. Yeah, this is it.
Genocide that's happening while we're alive here in front of our lives. And I don't, sometimes I feel like I should say something. I'm not a geologist or geographer or anything like that, so I don't know a lot of some of it I do know, though. Like, I know the basics of the issues over there, but for me, it's just like how I feel. Like, you see all these photos of people, just children, women, people, body parts, just people like putting their kids back together. And I just can't believe that we're watching that and that more isn't said about it. And so I'm not saying anyone else needs to say anything, but I think I'm just that more isn't said about it by me. So I just, I want to be able to speak up about that I think we're watching probably like, one of the sickest things that's ever happened. And I'm sorry if I've kind of haven't said about it. I've tried to talk about it and learn about it. But I don't know. Maybe I just wanted to say something. I don't even know what to do. And it's crazy because
there. I mean, and you see his honesty, his innocence. He's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. It's terrible. I just know I need to say something. And what we're witnessing is absolutely sick. And that's true. And each one of us has a voice. And so, this is my advice, in particular to the Muslim community. Stop arguing on Facebook with other sheikhs or imams who have given themselves to the leaders of foreign political nations and are remaining quiet because they want to continue to ensure that they have fundings for their organizations. Just forget about them. Forget about them. Who cares about them? You just keep marching forward, because those arguments are set to keep you busy from impacting any positive change in the world. Some flashing light over here is trying to get your attention, so you look over here and you're no longer focused on your goals. Stop looking over there. Stop trying to refute people. Just keep marching forward. And then we use our voices. We use our voices in a peaceful manner, in the way that we've constantly been doing since the start of this genocide. All of that enveloped in the constant prayer and tadarru', supplications to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, begging him every day to change the state of people of Gaza and shower them with mercy, make their affairs easy for them. Ya Rabbi ya Kareem. It's a very difficult situation, and I want to close actually with this narration of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa ala alihi, this narration of our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in which the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa ala alihi said, "Afdalul jihad man qala kalimat al-haq 'inda sultanin ja'ir." SubhanAllah, and it's related by At-Tirmidhi wa Abu Dawood wa Ibn Majah, that the Prophet of God, peace and blessings be upon him, said the most excellent jihad, the most excellent striving in the way of Allah, is when one speaks a true word in the presence of a tyrannical ruler. This is the greatest jihad with Allah. This is the greatest striving with Allah, is when we use our voices to be able to speak the truth, even if the truth is not popular. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us strength, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alleviate, Ya Allah, the sufferings of the people of Gaza.